Rasheeda burst into tears as the cameras were rolling and the live crowd was giddy with anticipation. The segment had simply been introductions and grins, but then she leaned forward with glazed eyes and said something nobody had anticipated. Yung Joc locked me in that hotel room for several hours. As she explained how a straightforward promotional trip developed into a nightmare, the studio fell silent, stunned. As rumors circulated on social media, fans were horrified and ecstatic. Could this golden kid of Atlanta's hip-hop culture have actually trapped his close friend? There had been rumors of friction between them, but nobody thought it would get this bad. The audience held their breath while the host fumbled, with several gripping their phones to record every moment. Rasheeda's voice faltered as she described how Yoc's demands became increasingly oppressive and how she felt compelled to leave, but discovered that all of the doors were closed. Although Yung Joc's side was already denying it and labeling it fake news, the evidence, her shaking hands and damaged wrists, painted a more sinister picture. Everyone was now curious as to whether Joc actually turned a friend into a captive. And how would this information affect Rasheeda's marriage, family, and personal safety? This narrative is going to get even more explosive, so fasten your seatbelt. The day began in Atlanta, just like any other promotional tour for hip-hop and love. Under strong studio lights, Rasheeda arrived at the downtown hotel, waving to admirers, yelling her name, and grinning for the cameras. Joc, always the cheerful host, embraced her. While leading her through the lobby, he remarked, "You look fantastic," as they recorded laughing and lighthearted banter for future episodes. The audience applauded. However, there was a simmering tension behind the scenes. None could have predicted that by evening, camaraderie would give way to accusations and laughing, to tears, which would rock Atlanta's hip-hop scene to its foundation. JoJo proposed that they carry on the talk in his suite as the day's filming came to an end. Rasheeda paused, looking about at her crew. "It's cool," JoJo reassured, grinning. "Just a brief discussion regarding the scenes for tomorrow." Following him up the lift, Rasheeda trusted Joc like a longtime friend. The door clicked behind them, the lights faded, and the cameras went off. As he poured 2 glasses of pricey scotch, JoJo gestured for her to sit on the soft couch. Before Joc's face changed and his eyes darkened as he put down the drinks, the atmosphere was relaxed and familiar. "Rasheeda, we need to talk about something. By ourselves," he added quietly. Bewildered, she blinked. "Is everything all right?" Joc didn't respond. Instead, his voice strained. He reached for her hand. "You must remain here tonight. Only you and me." Rasheeda looked towards the door as she chuckled uneasily. "Joc, my room is down the hallway. I should go back because it's late." Joc's grin dimmed. "You won't be leaving." A look of panic crossed Rasheeda's face. "What are you saying?" Her voice was forceful but calm as she inquired. Joc rose up suddenly, walked up to the door, and turned the lock with a snap. In the silent, "Sweet," the sound reverberated like a gunshot. Rasheeda got up from the couch and said, "Joc, unlock the door now." As she got closer, her leather boots made a clicking sound on the marble floor. Joc stood with his arms folded near the door. "You should relax. We need to figure things out. You can't simply walk away." Rasheeda's heart was racing. "Why are you doing this? You're frightening me." JoJo's voice faltered with feeling. "You believe you are the queen of everything, which is why you have been disregarding me and making decisions, without consulting me." Rasheeda shook her head, her bewilderment giving way to fear. "I'm your pal. I'm not here for whatever this is. I'm here to shoot." Joker stepped forward, his tenseness palpable. "Friends never desert one another. Not when I most need you." As though daring her to move, his hand lingered close to the door handle. Rasheeda's thoughts were racing as JoJo talked. For years she had known Joc, who had always been watchful, perhaps too careful, but never domineering. But now that she was confined to his suite, she was terrified. On the sofa table, just out of reach, was her phone. Desperately, she eyed it. "Please unlock the door," she repeated, attempting to maintain a calm tone. The Joc's face contorted. "No, you will not go until I say so." He went back to the couch and motioned for Rasheeda to take a seat. "Just pay attention." She sat nervously and mentally calculated ways to get out. Any possible rescue through the window was blocked by the tightly drawn blackout drapes behind her. Except for the slight hum of the air conditioner, the suite was strangely quiet. "Recently, I've been feeling hurt," Jojo replied softly. "You've been ignoring me while hanging out with Kirk and forming new alliances. I assumed you would be here forever." Rasheeda swallowed, his pulse pounding at the unexpected admission of his insecurities. "I cherish our friendship, Joc. I've always been there for you. However, everything changes in life, including employment and family." Unshed tears gleamed in Joc's eyes. "Without you, I don't want to change." Fear caused Rasheeda's compassion to falter. "I can't stay attached to you forever, even though I care about you." Joc's face became stern. "Not this evening. You remain tonight." Rasheeda recoiled as he grabbed for her hand once more. Hours went by like a bad dream. When Rasheeda tried to call for assistance, Joc didn't answer the door. Every time she tried to change the topic to allow her to go, he insisted on talking, but she was met with increasing desperation. "Please, I must return to my room," she begged, her voice almost audible above a whisper. As he sat next to her, Joc's voice grew softer. "I cherish you. I simply don't want you gone." Rasheeda felt stuck, yet her heart longed for the buddy she used to know. Breathing became difficult due to the helplessness pressing down on her chest. The team discovered that Rasheeda had not returned in the interim. Kelly, her assistant, called her name and knocked on the door of the apartment. No response. Panic spread. "Where is Rasheeda?" She questioned Jojo, who grinned and gently opened the door. "Oh, she's all right. I am merely conversing with her." Kelsey's forehead wrinkled. "The director wishes to end the evening. An hour ago, she was meant to go to her room." Joker's smile wavered. "I requested that she stay a little while longer. She will shortly be leaving." Uneasy, Kelsey pursed her lips. "All well, but she has appointments at 8. Inform her that I'm waiting." Jojo nodded and softly closed the door, leaving Kelsey feeling depressed. Rasheeda pushed against the distant wall inside. Her cheeks began to well up with tears. The circumstance weighed heavily on her. "How did it come to this?" she asked herself in a whisper. Joker paced while stroking his hair. "I'm afraid of being forgotten," he said gently, his voice cracking. Rasheeda spoke in a little voice. "I will not forget you, Joc. Simply let me go." Joker halted, staring fixedly. "Not until you say you'll listen to me." She shook her head, feeling both frustrated and afraid. "I am unable to guarantee that. I have to take a breath." As daylight drew near, Joc's enthusiasm faltered. Rasheeda grabbed her phone off the table and ran for it. Jojo lunged, but she was able to dial Kelly's number, thanks to her fast reactions. "Kelsey, please help me," she muttered, her voice shaking. The phone clattered off the table and fell beneath the couch as Joc surged once more. Rasheeda's anxiety increased. "No," she mouthed while fumbling for it. Joc took hold of her wrist and restrained her. "Stop," he begged, his eyes welling with tears. Rasheeda's name appeared on Kelsey's caller ID when her phone rang backstage, and she answered, panting. Rasheeda screamed, "Kelsey, please help me." Kelsey's voice faltered. "Where are you? I'm going." "To call the crew." Joc locked the door, Rasheeda murmured. Kelsey's eyes grew wide. "I'm en route. Hold on." As Kelly hurried to security, the feed cut, and team members rallied to contact hotel personnel. Rasheeda struggled to get out of the suite, and Jojo struggled to keep her. When security arrived and knocked urgently, the doorknob jiggled. A look of desperation and remorse crumpled Joc's face. "Don't open, Rasheeda," he yelled. There was a click and the door unlocked. Security guards came in and drew the Joc back. Rasheeda staggered out and rushed into Kelsey's arms, her voice rough and tears streaming down her cheeks, her sobs, her shaking shoulders, and the bruise on her wrist from the Joc's too tight grip were all abruptly captured on cameras that weren't supposed to be there. Joc stood by himself in the suite, shoulders hunched, tears mingling with remorse as the crew carried Rasheeda to safety. Security stood behind him, looking at him sternly. One guard said softly, "We need to talk." while the jock nodded and dropped his head. When Rasheeda emerged, supporters in the foyer screamed, some in alarm and others in wrath. Questions were yelled by reporters. "Are you okay, Rasheeda? Was Joc truly able to lock you in?" Her voice was hoarse as she clamped her hand to her mouth. Despite the horror in her eyes, she managed to say, "I'm okay now." For hours, Joc kept me confined to that room. The audience fell silent. One murmured, "Fans are shocked," while another echoed, "Emotions ran high." The sorrow on Rasheeda's face was captured on camera as she ran to her waiting car. Backstage, the jock was sitting with his head in his hands, secured to a chair by security. Members of the team said, "This is going to ruin him." JoJo's voice was hardly audible. Security clenched his fingers and said, "I love her. I never meant..." One guard remarked, "We'll take care of it from here." Lashonda, the wife of the jock, ran to embrace Rasheeda when she arrived at her house. As the two women embraced, tears fell. "Are you all right?" With a quivering voice, Lashonda inquired. Rasheeda trembled and stifled her voice. He felt deceived and lost control. It was retaliation. Lashonda's eyes grew wide. She grabbed her phone. "I'm phoning the children's school. They must be aware." The kids looked up from their homework inside the house. They widened their eyes. "Are you okay, Mommy?" they inquired. Rasheeda knelt down to give them a hug while forcing a trembling grin. Her voice wavered as she said, "I'm okay, baby. Just a long night." The action switched to social media feeds ablaze with indignation as part 1 came to an end. What did Joc do? One fan wrote, another person tweeted, "It's unbelievable that Rasheeda was trapped." Tabloids rushed to get responses from the jock's camp. Some demanded that he face consequences, while others supported him as mentally stressed. Lines were drawn between supporters and critics as the virtual world erupted. Unspoken voices discussed Rasheeda's nuptials, speculating about Kirk's potential response. However, there was no denying that the tragedy had revealed severe divisions inside the hip-hop culture, as well as amongst friends and families. Rasheeda's tear-streaked face, a representation of strength and weakness, showed in television clips as the light of dawn peeked through the windows. In anticipation of the following twist, viewers held their breath. With JoJo's silence responding to inquiries and Rasheeda's suffering making headlines, the stage was set for a confrontation that would permanently alter relationships and usher in part 2, where more profound repercussions and unspoken realities would surface. In the morning following the hotel incident, Rasheeda's home felt oddly deserted. Her phone was silent next to her on the couch, but JoJo's calls and messages kept coming in. She stayed in the living room, wrapped under a blanket, reliving the nightmare while the children were at school. Every time she closed her eyes, she heard her own frantic calls for assistance and saw the desperate expression on JoJo's face as he bolted the door. Joc's wife, Rasheeda, showed up out of the blue wearing jeans and a hoodie, looking tired and drawn. She cautiously entered while holding her phone to her ear. "Rasheeda," she said in a low voice. "I spoke with security just now. Jockeys are being freed until additional research is conducted. However, they stated that I had to see you first." Rasheeda's eyes met Lashonda's with a sour mixture of relief and betrayal. "You were aware?" Quietly, she inquired. Lashonda brought them closer together. "Late last night, he told me. Pleaded with me not to tell. I believed that I could repair it. However, I later realized that I had no idea what had transpired." She tentatively reached out. "Are you all right?" Rasheeda withdrew, her eyes welling with tears. "I'm not okay, Lashonda. He trapped me for hours. How can I overcome that?" Lashonda's voice cracked as she shook her head. "I'm not sure. However, I'm available to you." Rasheeda's lip trembled. "You need to have arrived there sooner. My friend, your husband. I believed that we were supporting one another." Hachia, Rasheeda's sister, stormed in with her phone in hand, while Rasheeda remained behind, being cautious not to crowd Rasheeda. "Have you seen these tweets, Rasheeda, sweetie?" She extended her phone and browsed through a feed of hashtags, including Yung Joc 8, Lockjaw, and a Rasheeda hurt. The fans are going crazy. Last night, there was a lot of emotion. Some people believe that Joc should be permanently canceled. Rasheeda reached for the phone and began to scan. They're accusing me of lying, claiming that I'm only making drama to get more views. Hachia encircled her with an arm. Don't pay attention to them. We are familiar with you. You wouldn't fabricate this. Rasheeda let out a breath. All I need is time. Meanwhile, there was a lot of activity once Joc was released from security custody. His face was haunted and pale when he got into his car outside the motel. With a hand on his thigh and pained eyes, Lashonda sat next to him. Joc, what the devil happened? Her voice was shaking as she asked. Joc's jaw was clenched as he concentrated. On the road. I apologize, Lashonda. I went crazy. Rasheeda left me feeling abandoned. I felt useless because she was constantly away, shooting and making decisions without me. Lashonda bit her lip while shedding tears. However, confining her to a room? You caused her pain. Jojo's voice cracked. I understand. What I accomplished cannot be undone. Ashonda turned in the seat to face him. She breathed. I was selfish. I made it about me. We require a strategy. The media is buzzing. My family and your family deserve answers. The shoulders of the Joc slumped. I'll admit that there was a miscommunication. We'll say we're sorry. Request privacy. Lashonda squinted her eyes. That won't be sufficient. People are curious as to why you felt so hopeless. Rasheeda has experienced trauma. Now that she's safe, how can you demonstrate that you're not a monster? Joker rubbed his temples and sighed. I'm not sure. Kirk Frost. Got a call from a mutual producer across town. The host's soothing voice over the speakerphone interrupted Kirk's morning routine. We need your statement, Kirk. We're conducting a follow-up section on the startling revelation from last night. Kirk ran a hand over his hair and closed his eyes. There is nothing I can say. My tale isn't this. The host's voice was demanding. Fans are looking to you, Kirk, because you are Rasheeda's husband. They want to know if you agree with her or not. Kirk looked at his son as he played with a toy car. He let out a breath. Inform them. Tell them that I completely back her. I'm available for anything she needs. We'll need additional information, questions, about how this impacts your family, the host retorted. Kirk drooped his shoulders. Just tell them I'm family and I love her. Sitting at his kitchen table with a picture of him and Rasheeda on their wedding day, Kirk hung up the phone. The bride's radiant face seemed like a faraway recollection. He texted Rasheeda saying, I love you. When you can, give me a call. He closed his eyes and put down his phone. How can I aid in her recovery? He muttered. Hachia arranged her sister's calendar back at Rasheeda's house in the meantime. She stated that she had a doctor's appointment at 2 and therapy at 4. You need a professional someone to talk to. Rasheeda nodded while shedding a few tears. I feel shattered. The cushion was fluffed by Hachia. You're not damaged. You're getting better. However, we must stay busy. No lingering. Rasheeda let out a breath. All right. Rasheeda sat in a doctor's office at 2 o'clock, feeling chilly against the white walls. The doctor, Dr. Jenkins, came in carrying a clipboard. I recognize that last night was a difficult experience. What bodily state are you in? Rasheeda moved, concealing a slight bruising on her wrist by drawing her sleeve down. I'm hurt. However, the panic is what persists. Dr. Jenkins looked at the bruise and nodded. We are able to record this for any court case. In addition, I'm recommending relaxation and a brief course of anti-anxiety medication. Rasheeda let out a breath. I'm grateful. Can I manage my upcoming day of filming? Dr. Jenkins thought about it. Only when you're ready. Don't rush, though. Your mental well-being is vital. Rasheeda nodded in a low voice. I'll give it a shot. Rasheeda arrived to therapy at 4 o'clock. Sinking into the chair opposite Dr. Harris, she did just that. She started by telling them about last night. Her voice broke as she replied, He made me feel trapped. I couldn't stop wondering how a buddy could turn into a prisoner. Dr. Harris nodded as he listened. Friendship can become hazy when boundaries are crossed. JoJo's behavior is inappropriate. However, let's concentrate on your reaction, your trauma, your healing. Rasheeda dabbed at her tears. I feel ashamed and guilty. I kept reliving it over and over again, thinking if there was anything I could have done differently. Dr. Harris inclined closer. You're not at fault. You had faith in him. There was a breach of trust. Letting out that anger, channeling it rather than holding it inside as poison, is a necessary aspect of rehabilitation. Rasheeda sagged her shoulders. I feel so weak, but I want to be strong for my kids. A breathing exercise was led by Dr. Harris. Recognize the suffering. Then, piece by piece, let it go. Rasheeda closed her eyes, took a deep breath, and let it out gradually. A group gathered at Joc and Rasheeda's house later that night. Both families were present. Yandy and Mendices emailed their apologies, Kirk and their kids stayed for dinner, and other cast members saw a live apology video made by Joc. JoJo's image appeared on the screen, pallid, teary-eyed, and trembling. I failed someone I care about a lot last night. Rasheeda is family, not just a friend. I lost my composure and violated her confidence. I sincerely apologize. I'll accept the repercussions and make every effort to put this right. He stopped, fighting back tears. I request that Rasheeda be given privacy as she recovers. We want to uphold our morals, our families, and her, so I'm looking for professional assistance. Immediately after the live feed ended, comments like, fans are shocked. I never expected Joc to lie. Emotions ran high as Joc apologized, and the family was left divided, were made. Rasheeda was sitting in the dining room with Kirk's arm wrapped about her. Their kids ate in silence, feeling sorry but not fully understanding the situation. Under the table, Kirk sought for her hand. Baby, I'm here. She muffled her voice and clasped his hand. I'm not sure where we're headed. Kirk let out a breath. We'll confront it collectively. Rasheeda nodded while the kids grinned at them with naive optimism, tears streaming down her face. Ringing her phone, Yandy watched the live apologies from across town. Her heart ached from remorse at not being able to keep her friends safe. I forgive you, but it will take time, she texted. Joker's response was a single heart emoji. With a sigh, Yandy buried her face in a pillow. Meanwhile, Rasheeda's old buddy Cole Stokes watched the live apology on TV from his flat. He felt sorry for Joc's downfall. He gave a friend a call. Have you watched Joc's video? He acknowledged it. His career will be destroyed by this. The companion gave a nod. Reality television is merciless. If you make one mistake, you're out. Cole hung up, his thoughts racing with potential outcomes. News teams gathered outside Joc's house, their cameras trained on the door. Questions were yelled by reporters. Joc, why? You did it, but why? The door remained closed and no response was received. Videos of Rasheeda's weeping, the Joc's shame, and the online division of fans were continuously played. Headlines from gossip blogs read, Joc's treachery rattles love and hip-hop. Best friend locks Rasheeda in for trauma, and can Joc's career survive? Hasia prepared dinner for Rasheeda and Kirk's family back at her residence. The comforting scent of macaroni and cheese filled the air. The oldest child exclaimed, Mommy, I drew a happy picture of us today, as the children ran in with stories from school. Despite the pain, Rasheeda felt her heart warm. She gave her children a hug. Thank you, sweetie. The child inquired, Is Daddy all right? Rasheeda gave him a forehead kiss. He's receiving assistance. Everything will be all right. Kirk nodded in a soft voice. We'll always keep you safe. Rasheeda used her phone to film a brief video statement that evening. I want to thank everyone who has shown love and concern, I said in a stern but heartfelt voice. Despite the horror of last night, your nice words have helped me to recover. I'm concentrating on my family and kids. Please be considerate of our privacy while we work through this. She shared it with her friends and family before sobbing till her pillow was soaked through and collapsing onto her bed. Joc was sitting, by himself in his gloomy living room as midnight drew near. His remorse was reflected in the lengthy shadows created by the furnishings. LaShonda showed up carrying 2 water cups. She gave him one. She whispered softly, "We'll need to be strong for Rasheeda." Joc held the glass and spoke loudly. "I deceived her. I'm not worthy of her pardon." LaShonda touched his shoulder with her hand. "It takes time to forgive, but she has to get better because she loves you." Jojo nodded while crying. "I'll hold out." Social media was ablaze with rumors in the closing seconds of episode 2. Would Joc get arrested? How soon will Rasheeda start shooting again? Is hip-hop and love doomed? Every query mirrored the confusion. However, one fact stuck out. The incident had exposed unresolved weaknesses in friendships and families, laying the groundwork for part 3, when everyone would be pushed to their limits by the pursuit of healing, legal threats, and more thorough investigations. The tension from the hotel incident had not subsided when the sun rose over Atlanta. Rasheeda was sitting at her kitchen table, drinking coffee that had gone cold a few hours prior. Every news alert on her phone was like a kick to the gut. Fans split over Rasheeda's claims, Atlanta hip-hop star's nightmare, and Yung Joc under fire. With her heart racing at every headline, she combed through her hair. Hovering close by, Kirk wiped the sleep from his eyes. He moved to the chair across from her. "Did you sleep at all?" "Gently," he inquired. Rasheeda let out a breath. "A bit," she muttered, but observing everything. "How should I interpret it?" Kirk grabbed her hand and squeezed it, step by step. "Whatever happens next, I'll take care of it." While this was going on, Joc's phone was inundated with messages from fans insulting him, producers seeking statements, and a lawyer warning him to get ready for possible criminal charges. With his phone close to his ear, he paced his living room. "I get it, Detective Walker, but really, I didn't mean to cause her any harm." The investigator's voice cracked. "We must examine the surveillance footage and statements, sir. Staying in someone's room without permission may be considered false imprisonment. We'll communicate." Joker put his head in his hands and sagged into the couch. With a worried expression on her face, LaShonda came in. "What were they saying?" Softly, she inquired. Joc shut his eyes. "They are looking into it. I'm not sure if they'll file charges." LaShonda submerged next to him. "We'll confront it collectively." Joker nodded, his voice breaking. "I'm really sorry." Rasheeda and Kirk arrived at the station later that morning. Reporters were craning cameras in the lobby. A bailiff gestured for them to come forward. Detective Walker welcomed them inside. "Mrs. Thank you for coming, Frost. We require your statement." Rasheeda nodded, speaking steadily. "I was in the suite of Joc. He wouldn't let me leave and locked me in for hours. I was afraid. We have bruises and a record from a neighbor who heard her screams," Kirk continued. Investigator Walker scrawled notes. "We'll watch the video. You'll have to give your side, Mr. Walker." Joc unwillingly walked forward. For a moment, sorrow and shame swirled as his eyes met Rasheeda's. "I got out of control." He hung his head. "I'm prepared to accept the consequences." Detective Walker looked from one to the other. "When we decide on charges, we'll give you both a call." Rasheeda let out a breath of relief mixed with fear. Cameras outside recorded the conversation. One cameraman nodded at the picture and whispered, "Proto walls." Yandy was en route to pick up her children from school a few blocks away. She was exhausted by the weight of the disclosures from last night. Kirk's text message appeared. "I'm thinking of you." With her thumb hanging above the keyboard, she gazed at it for a moment. She typed, "I'm sorry," and erased it. After parking, she hurried into the school and gathered her kids in her arms. Their embraces were like a lifeline. "Are you okay, Mommy?" They all inquired at once. She smiled artificially. "I'm all right, sweethearts. How did your day go?" They rambled on about class assignments, and she listened while clutching them close and threatening to cry but holding back. She promised in private to be stronger for them. Mendices and Todd showed up at her residence to help their buddies. They discovered Yandy unpacking food. The Mendices stated, We heard about Rasheeda. Yandy has a tight voice. It is... Lot. Todd touched her shoulder in a comforting manner. We're here for anything you need. Yandy let out a breath. I feel terrible about it. I was unable to keep her safe. Mendices gave a headshake. You didn't cause this. Joc made his own decision. Yandy shut her eyes. I'll aid in Rasheeda's recovery. That is all that is important. JoJo made an appearance on a stand-in live stream that afternoon that was organized by a nearby radio station. His eyes were sunken and his face looked pallid. Joc, do you admit to locking Rasheeda in that room? The host questioned. Joc gulped. Yes, I became angry. I was offended, but that's no justification. I'm embarrassed because she was afraid. The host persisted, asking if you would be charged with a crime. Joc let out a breath. I'll take it if it comes to that. I betrayed her confidence. The host gave a solemn nod. Fans are taken aback by your admission. On social media, emotions were running high. Joc shut his eyes. I hope that one day Rasheeda will have the heart to pardon me. As Rasheeda got home, she discovered a handwritten note from JoJo tucked beneath her door saying, I'm sorry doesn't cover it, but I'll do anything to prove I'm sorry. Kirk discovered her sobbing while reading the letter. He grabbed it and ripped it in two. You don't require that, he said. Rasheeda trembled as she looked at him. Peace is what I need. Kirk nodded and assisted her in going to bed. Kirk and Rasheeda had a modest family gathering in their living room 2 days later. Their children sat on the floor, cross-legged, hunched. Over her laptop, Yandy joined via video call. JoJo also showed up, standing distantly with a phone resting on a bookcase. Rasheeda made an effort to smile at her children. I want you to know how much we cherish you. Mommy will be all right. Their kid gave her knees a hug. I was afraid, Mother. Rasheeda knelt. I understand, sweetie, but now I'm safe. On the television, Kirk put a soft touch on Yandy's shoulder. Yandy brushed away her tears. I apologize for what JoJo did. I cherish you. Rasheeda took a breath. This is difficult, but together, we will recover. All right? With fearless little faces, the children nodded. Cole Stokes, a friend who was once close to Rasheeda, saw stories about the police. Report later that night. With his phone in hand, he sat on his balcony. A mutual friend texted. Heard about Joc. Are you all right? Cole fixed his gaze on the phone. I can't handle this, he said. He was shaken by remorse since he had once stoked Joc's fears by casting doubt on Rasheeda's loyalty. I apologize, he wrote in a message to Rasheeda. I regret what I said. After some hesitation, he hit the submit button. Social media saw a spike in responses. How was this possible for Joc? Vote, Joc scandal. I support Rasheeda, and Rasheeda deserves better. Support threads were developed by fans who provided both financial and emotional assistance. Others came together to support Joc's expulsion from reality TV. Emotions were high. Most people felt that the family was split up and that trust had been broken. Rasheeda withdrew to her garden for a calm period. The slight buzz of vehicles was borne by the night air. She closed her eyes and allowed the memories to flood her mind. Long talks, laughing with Joc, and then the betrayal that stabbed her in the back. As she said, I'll survive, tears poured silently. Her daughter Kira crept outside. May I read to you, Mommy? Rasheeda wiped her cheeks and attempted a grin. I would adore that. Kira's voice was bright as she opened a storybook. Heartbroken and full of hope, Rasheeda leaned against the gate. Joc got ready for a meeting with the network's legal staff the following morning. With a pallid face, he adjusted his tie in the mirror. A stern CEO presented their proposal throughout the meeting. Until this is resolved, we might have to stop you from filming. Advertisers are anxious. Fans are incensed. As he nodded, JoJo's heart fell. I get it. I'll comply. The executive gave him a stern look. Sorry isn't enough. You must demonstrate your dedication to change. Joc gulped. I am. A contract that included public service, anger management, and volunteer work was passed across the table by the executive. Joc signed after taking a deep breath. Rasheeda was getting ready to record a video statement for fans as Part 3 came to a close. She seated herself against a plain background beneath strong lights. As she said, "Thank you for standing by me. This has been the hardest period of my life." The camera rolled. Her voice was clear but emotive. "However, I think that healing and progress are important. I'm taking some time to concentrate on my recuperation and my kids. Please respect my decision to leave the show. All of you are loved." She stopped and massaged her wrist. "I need space right now, but I'll be back stronger." A producer close by gave a nod of approval and switched off the camera. It was time for school pickup outside. Rasheeda stared from the doorway as Kirk placed the children into the car. It still felt like sunshine on a chilly day when they smiled at her. She muttered to herself, "We'll be all right," as the automobile drew away. Please, share your views and feelings if this story made your heart race. Do you think JoJo will ever be trusted again by Rasheeda? Will this family be able to find happiness again? Every voice counts, so please share your thoughts in the comments section below. Please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel if you would like to get additional updates on this developing story. To ensure that you don't miss a single twist, remember to press the notification bell. Your participation enables us to provide you with the most recent drama on reality TV. So please continue to share and comment, and together, let's ride this roller coaster.